Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through how I take a selfie and tips and tricks to make your selfie look a little bit better than it normally would without these tips and tricks. I feel like there's a universal feeling that everyone gets whenever they look in the mirror. They're like, wow, I just look so amazing. And we're trying to translate that image of, wow, we look so amazing onto our phone cameras because we want to show the rest of the world how amazing we look. And so I'm going to walk you through a couple of steps that I take in order to ensure that I capture the best possible photo. So let's start out with equipment. For the camera, you could use any smartphone camera. I have the iPhone 13 Pro, and normally whenever I'm taking pictures, even if I'm not taking a selfie, I like using the front-facing camera because I like to be able to see whatever it is that I'm trying to capture, especially when it comes to me. Of course, if I'm taking a picture of the scenery, then I won't necessarily need the front-facing camera. I just use the back-facing camera, which has great quality. But I'll show you a couple of tricks to make the front-facing camera really, really good. This is an optional piece of equipment that I personally love using in every single one of my photos because it just makes the camera quality so much better. And it's this NEEWER mobile phone LED light. All you need to do is clip this onto your phone and then you can turn it on. And so you can see that it provides a lot of light, which is what's necessary to capture the best photo. And there are 3 different temperatures for lighting that you can choose on this NEEWER model. I like to choose this light setting where it mixes warm and cool tones, but there is just one for warm tones and there is another for cool tones. All right, and the last piece of equipment that you'll need is more light. Right now I am currently plopped in front of a big window, and what this big window does is it provides a lot of light to help out the camera sensors. So just a little bit of context for why you need so much lighting to get the best possible photo is that in your camera there are like a gazillion light sensors, and in order for those light sensors to capture true color, it needs as much light as possible. Obviously you don't want to be too overly exposed. For those of you who don't know, exposure just means light, and so higher exposure means more light, lower exposure means less light. Overexposure can cause your pictures to look too washed out, so a lot of things will look too bright. In the case of like an additional lighting like this NEEWER model right here, or in the case of like a big window, these types of light are a little bit dimmer than direct sunlight, and so all of those are examples of lighting that are really, really good for selfie taking or for just regular photo taking. So let's jump into actually taking the photos. I'm going to be screen recording on my phone so that way you can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. I'm going to attach this light to my camera, and so you can see that this is the type of lighting that I have with just the big window. The lighting isn't too bad. It's able to capture my makeup and the colors in the frame really, really well. But let me go ahead and turn on this light real quick and you'll be able to see what a major difference. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a couple of selfies. So those were just a couple of examples of selfies that I took earlier. They didn't really have any planning. I wasn't really posing. I was just kind of like tilting my head back and forth. They turned out pretty well, and all we had to do was really adjust the lighting. So this lighter thingy really comes in handy. The next thing that I want to talk about is posing. Obviously, posing and different angles for a selfie can make or break the picture. I'll show you a couple of poses that I enjoy. The first practice that I want to talk about is called mewing. Naturally, I don't have like a cut jawline. I have a pretty square face, and sometimes my chin shows a little bit more than I'd like it to. One way to prevent the chin from showing in photos is to mew. So mewing is a natural exercise that actually is better for your breathing, and all you have to do is place your tongue to the roof of your mouth, kind of as if you are swallowing saliva or something. And so it pulls your neck muscles all the way to the roof of your mouth, and it prevents the chin from sagging. Naturally, if I were to breathe out of my mouth, my chin kind of sags down, and so you could see that from mewing, it makes my chin look a little bit more cut and defined, which is what I like in a photo. Another thing that I like to do in certain photos, especially whenever it's an up-close photo that's zeroing in on my face, is I like to accentuate the bone structure of my face. I have a pretty round face, and so anytime I could try to minimize those baby cheeks, I really try to take advantage of that. And so one of the things that I do is right by the cheek area, a little bit closer towards the end, I like to suck in, I guess, the flesh right by the cheek and bite on it a little bit. Not like so much that I look like a Tim Burton character, just so that it looks like I have model cheeks. So I find that whenever I do that, it slims down my face a lot, and I like how that looks. So the last two things I want to talk about are posing and angles. Starting with angles, depending on your face shape and the vibe of the photo that you're trying to give off, you might want to adjust your camera so that it's a little bit higher than your line of sight, so where your natural eye line is, or you might want to position it to be a little bit lower than your natural eye line. Placing the camera a little bit higher than your natural line of sight creates this illusion that your head's a little bit bigger, your mouth's a little bit smaller, and it could really slim down your face. So if you're really trying to slim down your face for a selfie, I recommend angling the camera just a little bit higher than your line of sight. Of course, if you're not going for like the cute look where you're trying to slim down your face, if you're trying to have a more bold and a sexy look, then you could definitely bring down the angle a little bit lower than your line of sight. What that does is it enlarges your chin and it accentuates the jawline, so it gives it a little bit more of a sexy look. It also kind of elongates your eyes, and so it gives off a little bit more of a sexy look. And now let's talk about poses. There are like a gajillion types of poses that you could do in a selfie. I like to stick to a couple of very basic poses because I'm not that creative and I want to ensure that I have a good photo. So I have tried out a couple things that I feel comfortable with and that I think I look good in. I try to stick to those. Here are a couple poses that I really enjoy. So a tried and true pose that I really enjoy is the pushing my hair out of my face, or I'm holding my hair out of my face pose. And as you can see, I'm trying to play with different lengths and different angles with this pose. I'm trying to shift my hair around a little bit, basically making like micro movements so that I can just try to capture every single movement and see which one looks best in the end. These are just photos. I could just delete them later. So try to make as many micro movements as possible and try to take as many pictures as you can. You can always go back, revise, and then when you revise these photos, you'll figure out what it is that you truly like, what it is that's aesthetic to your eye, and whatever it is that's pleasing to you. And the last pose that I think is really cute is the one where you place like your hand on your collarbone or somewhere on your skin around the chest area, your arm, your shoulder. I just think that's really cool because you're playing with an element of your body that is not just your face. And although the face and the hair and the makeup is like the central point of it, you do want like other things going on as well. In a selfie, I like to keep it playful. I like to add different elements of different things to try to spice it up a little bit. And so actually just got a BeReal notification, so I'm gonna take a bomb-ass selfie with my light. This is what the BeReal ended up looking like. Not bad. All right, and those are all of the tips and tricks that I have whenever it comes to taking selfies. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Love ya. Took so many selfies. Bye.